In 2002, a team of scientists vanished in Antarctica right after reporting an anomaly 2 miles under the ice. Satellite images were wiped. The military went silent, but buried beneath the frozen wasteland is something humanity wasn't meant to find. Pause. And it might be older than civilization itself. In the late 1990s, a joint American-European expedition set up deep field research stations across East Antarctica. Officially, they were studying climate data, but leaked reports suggest something strange happened near Lake Vostok, a massive subglacial lake sealed off for millions of years. Deep penetration radar picked up geometric shapes, unnatural shapes, almost 2 miles beneath the ice. Not caves, not rocks, something with structure. Within weeks, the entire area was locked down. GPS data was scrambled, satellite imagery mysteriously blurred. And then came the silence. No reports, no follow-ups, no press conferences. What kind of discovery could be so dangerous that it had to be erased? In 2001, amateur satellite researchers noticed something strange on NASA's public servers. A high-resolution image of East Antarctica, one sector near Lake Vostok, showed what looked like rectilinear shadows under the ice. They didn't look natural. Within days, the image was taken offline, replaced with a lower-resolution version, with that section blurred out. Similar reports emerged from users on early forums like Above Top Secret and even Usenet. Multiple satellite images, gone, scrubbed, or replaced. Even Google Earth users have claimed that entire parts of the Antarctic sheet have been patched or intentionally obscured. In 2002, a rumored expedition vanished in Antarctica after reporting a massive underground anomaly. Why would simple ice be classified? And why would global powers care this much? Unless it wasn't just ice. In 2009, NASA launched Operation IceBridge, calling it the largest airborne survey of Earth's polar ice ever flown. Dozens of aircraft flew over Antarctica using ice-penetrating radar, gravimeters, and magnetic sensors. The public was told it was for climate research, melting ice, rising seas. But behind the press releases, something else was happening. Flight paths repeatedly crisscrossed one specific region, again near Lake Vostok, and leaked internal data from one flight showed a rectangular void, nearly 400 meters long under the ice. Experts suggested it could be a cave or an ancient impact crater, but none were found. Instead, what looked like walls, corridors, and right angles, hallmarks of architecture, kept showing up. If this was just a geological anomaly, why was it being studied in complete secrecy? Or more importantly, why was the military involved? In 2012, a man claiming to be a former contractor with the US Navy posted anonymously to several conspiracy forums. He said he was stationed at McMurdo Base in the early 2000s. According to him, a select group of geologists and engineers were flown to a no-name sector of East Antarctica. Their mission classified. They returned shaken, silent. Some left the service completely. He claimed one of them, a longtime friend, finally opened up after drinking. What he described wasn't a cave or ruins. It was a chamber, metallic, cold, and not human. Symbols lined the walls. The architecture defied logic, like the geometry was designed for something else. And in the center was a tall, empty pedestal. Whatever stood there, he said, was never meant to be found. Over the past 2 decades, independent researchers have pointed to dozens of strange anomalies across the Antarctic ice sheet, rectangular formations, pyramid-like elevations, perfectly circular voids in the bedrock, none of which match natural glacial patterns. One of the most famous is the so-called Antarctic Pyramid. 3 triangular sides, rising sharply from the snow, visible even from satellite view. Experts quickly dismissed it as a nunatak, a mountain poking through the ice. But skeptics point out that nearby formations show no erosion, no weathering, and most importantly, no matching geological origin. No natural explanation has held up, and no one is allowed to drill there. Some researchers believe Antarctica wasn't always covered in ice. According to geological studies, parts of the continent may have been ice-free as recently as 12,000 years ago, right around the end of the last ice age. And if that's true, it changes everything, because that timeline matches the mysterious Younger Dryas event, a global climate catastrophe linked to mass extinctions and lost cultures. Plato described Atlantis as a technologically advanced civilization that was destroyed by floods and buried beneath ice. Was he speaking metaphorically or describing something real? And as ice swallowed the land, it preserved what they left behind. Not myths, not ruins, evidence. Plato's writings described Atlantis as an island nation beyond the Pillars of Hercules. Larger than Libya and Asia combined, it vanished in a single day and night of cataclysm, swallowed by water and earth. For centuries, scholars dismissed it as allegory. But what if it wasn't? Some modern theorists point to Antarctica's exact dimensions and location, far south beyond known seafaring routes, and suggest that ancient maps may have preserved a memory of its true history. One of the most mysterious is the Piri Reis map, drawn in 1513, which appears to show an ice-free coastline of Antarctica. Centuries before it was officially discovered, how could a 16th century cartographer map a continent buried under miles of ice? Unless someone had seen it before. In 1929, the Piri Reis map was discovered in a dusty Turkish palace. Drawn on gazelle skin in 1513, it showed parts of Europe, Africa, and the northern edge of Antarctica, without ice. But here's the twist. Modern geologists didn't confirm Antarctica's true coastline until the 20th century, using seismic data and ground-penetrating radar. So how did a 16th century sailor chart it with near-perfect accuracy? 400 years earlier, even more disturbing, the Orontius Phineas map from 1531 also shows Antarctica, again, without its ice sheet. These maps suggest someone, long before modern history, had knowledge of the continent's geography. Despite decades of strange anomalies, blurred images, and whispered accounts, mainstream science refuses to even acknowledge the possibility of a buried civilization under the Antarctic ice. Why? Some say it's to protect scientific credibility. Others believe it's more than that. A global agreement to keep the truth buried. Since 1959, Antarctica has been governed by the Antarctic Treaty System, an unprecedented pact that bans all military activity and restricts independent exploration. No other continent is this tightly controlled. No other landmass is so off-limits to the public. Even Google Earth data for Antarctica is frequently patched, pixelated, or missing. So, the question isn't just what's under the ice. It's why they won't let us see it. Imagine this. Under 2 miles of ancient ice lies the frozen remains of a civilization that predates everything we know. A city of impossible architecture, symbols no one can translate, technology we still don't understand, and at its center, an object now missing that was never meant to fall into human hands. It explains the secrecy, the blurred maps, the vanishing scientists. Because if humanity discovered undeniable proof of a pre-Ice Age civilization, religions would collapse, histories would unravel, power structures would fall apart, and the ones who know are doing everything they can to keep it buried. Maybe the whispers are right. Maybe Antarctica isn't just a frozen wasteland. Maybe it's the lost vault of a forgotten world.